What's up, Bulls Nation? Peck here from CHGO Bulls. We got a live post-game coming for y'all right around the corner. Breaking down the Bulls' 122-106 loss to the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis goes off for 25 in the third quarter, finishes with 41. Zach LaVine starts hot, but fades down the stretch. Tough night for Kobe. We'll break it all down next on a live CHGO Bulls post-game. Oh, man. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into CHGO Bulls postgame. Coming to you live from our studios here in the West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck. That's Big Dave. Bam. Bam. BAWL Sports. That's four-time champ, Uncle Will Perdue, Will_Perdue 32.
Oh, thanks.
Queen on the controls, the one and only Katie Duffy. We will hear from Will Gottlieb, who is up at Pfizer for him for tonight's game. Later on in postgame, thank you for joining us. Hit that like button. Do it now. Get it out of the way so we don't have to bug you about it later. Katie's going to bug you about it later, but Just do it now. Make sure you also subscribe. Throw us your comments on tonight's game. We'll get to as many as we can. Throw us a super chat if you're feeling generous. Gentlemen, Bulls 122-106 go down to the Bucks. 1-1 against the Bucks now on the season. We talked to pregame about how Kobe White really had a baller game back in October in the win with 35 points. He struggled a bit tonight, just 6 of 15 from the field for 14. Zach LaVine had 20 in the first half and looked like he was out there to prove a point or two to this national ESPN broadcast audience.
Look at me.
Started with 20 in the first half, just finishes with 27. Chocolate Salty Bulls in the comments saying that Zach didn't necessarily fade, but rather deferred. He gave up some open looks to Giddey down the stretch of that game.
He did.
Which I did notice. Yes, he did. But, I mean, to me, gentlemen, we can go wherever you want to in this postgame, but to me, it was all about that third quarter. And the Bulls defense having zero answers for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yes, that's true. Giannis, did he score 25? Am I right?
25 in the third quarter.
25, yeah, okay. I remember when I read that, and then I was like, nah, I didn't see that right. I was like, nah, that must have meant he had 25.
And he missed 7 free throws.
That means he could have
easily
had 30.
And I predicted Giannis 50 burger in pregame.
You did. You did.
That's better than the free throw line. He would have been even closer than the 41 he finished with.
Oh, he is awesome. Like, the man is just a force. He is a specimen. Once they put Julian Phillips on him, it was barbecue chicken, as Shaq likes to say. So he definitely did a lot of scoring in his variety of ways that he does it. You know, when the jump shot was hitting, I mean, Will Perdue said, well, you're in trouble. He's hitting that. It's going to be a long night. Then he's getting to the bucket, getting the finger roll layups. He's getting the offensive rebounds. He's catching the alley-oops. I mean, you saw the whole, in the words of the wonderful Marv Albert, he was showcasing the entire repertoire tonight. And, yeah, he did it definitely against the Bulls.
And the foul.
Yes. It was something to watch, man. It was something to shout out to Tom who said Big Dave was in denim hell. The leg prisons, sir. The leg prisons in full effect. Oh, man. But, yeah, Giannis, man. He was something. That was good, right, Will? Tom, that was a good one, dog. Straight up. And I don't like it. You're right. I don't. I look amazing. Let's start there. But
you know what would look really good?
Man. The breeze that God get. You know what I mean?
Maybe
showing off the gams to the people. I don't like depriving them of the awesomeness of my legs.
You know, maybe a little bedazzle.
No, I don't need extras. See, that's my thing. I don't need extras.
Yeah, give me some bedazzled jeans next time.
No, I don't need the extras. I'm fine as hell without any of the extras.
Maybe a little Bulls logo on the back pockets.
Claire's at the mall. Get some cheap jewelry to bedazzle your jeans with.
Oh my God, the mall.
Yeah. Remember those?
I do. Those still around, Katie. They still got malls.
She hasn't seen that movie.
Oh, okay. Oh, she don't get that.
What, Will?
She don't get that reference. Okay. But yeah, Will. But yes, Giannis. He was something incredible, man.
Listen, we've talked about this before. Giannis is, you got to pick him up at half court.
Yeah.
And even as, Matt
70%.
talked about.
Oh, my God. I'm sorry. I just saw
the amount of room, the length of his strides, and the amount of feet he covers per step. Mm-hmm. Once he gets his momentum going, there's nothing you can do but either foul him or try to take a charge. And that's like taking a charge from a freight train. Good luck. You're definitely going to pay the price on that one.
Yes.
But that's what we talk about. He's one of the few guys in the league that can consistently score that easily. Now, it's not really that easy, but it's just how he makes it because of how difficult he makes it on the defense to try to slow him down.
Yeah. He's something to behold.
He almost had a triple-double.
17 of 14 is insane. Yes, 9 rebounds and 8
17
assists.
24.
24, excuse me. 17 to 24. 9 rebounds, 8 assists in 35 minutes, man.
And of those assists, so he goes off for 25 in the third quarter, just saying, nobody on this team can guard me. He was bullying Julian Phillips. He was bullying Josh Giddey. Yes. He was bullying anyone who tried. And then in the fourth quarter, Giannis was like, all right, let me set up my teammates. There were a couple possessions, I want to say around the 8-7 minute mark in the fourth, somewhere like that, where on back-to-back possessions, Giannis has the ball in the paint. The entire defense collapses on him. One time, he kicks out to Dame, who just goes Dame time from way deep, from the top of the key, cashes a three. And then the other time, he kicks it out to Brook Lopez, who cashes a three. Giannis can facilitate, and he was in that speech recently talking about how this team needed to play more like a team and play together. Mm-hmm. The ball needed to move. Giannis took over as an individual offensive talent in the third quarter, and then in the fourth quarter said, all right, hey, teammate, here's an open look at a three. Hey, teammate, here's an open look at a three, because I have literally attracted the entire Bulls defense like a swarm of bees to a ball of honey, and trusts his teammates to make those shots.
First of all, shout out to the ball of honey. I would like to see that. That is awesome. But the numbers definitely back up everything Matt is saying, for sure, because that's when the assists came, man. Getting your teammates involved and making sure they're hitting those shots. I was telling Will, Matt, that this was the game that the Mavs thought that the Bucks thought that they were going to play the last time they played the Bulls.
Yeah.
They were just going to overpower them, impose their will on them, withstand the run by the Bulls. They're like, okay, they're going to probably get a run and everything like that. But then in the end, we got Giannis, we got Dame, we got Lopez, we got Portis. That means we're going to win, right? Well, Portis was off because he was still dealing with some injuries. Lopez usually gets off to slow starts. Giannis was still, doing Giannis stuff, and Dame was kind of off to a rocky start. He didn't have a super game tonight
Dame
either.
Was 2 of 10 from downtown.
Yeah, but still with 20 points and 10 assists and 5, rebounds, still, doing stuff he wasn't doing in that first game when they played the Bulls, man. And yeah, so they played that kind of game. I mean, anytime one of your starters, no, really, this is true. 2 of your starters don't score, you still win by that? That's true. Wow. 2 of their starters, Prince didn't score.
Torian Prince and Jackson Jr.
didn't score a bucket.
We're collectively 0 of 5 for 0 points.
They was out there with getting the cardio in. I mean,
Jackson only played 14 minutes.
Yeah, but Prince played 25, and 5 rebounds. That's it. My God. And you still dominate. And again, that's my point. You didn't even notice it. You still out there dominating the Chicago Bulls, man. No, I thought that they would come back for the Bulls, kind of with more veracity, with more focus against this team, because they kind of find their, they kind of found their rhythm. And now they're trying to climb back and get back to the play-in, get back to the playoffs. And, yeah, they're a team that's going to be a problem.
So, also, I kind of made a joke, right? That we were watching the game. I was like, people need to be watching our show, because basically ESPN's broadcast in the first quarter was just replicated our show. Mm-hmm. I mean,
the stats about the Bulls' 3-point percentage and turnover percentage win-loss wise.
Right.
Yep.
But also a few other things, but we were just patting ourselves on the back a little bit, kind of like Matt did before we went off the air in the pregame.
That was just about pizza.
But we also threw a little stat out there that it was kind of in humor, in jest, but I was being serious. Read the scouting report. Because what did we talk about? Brook Lopez scored 20 or more in 2 of his last 3. Over the last 3 games, 20 point. He's averaging 20 points, 7 rebounds, 3.3 blocks, 2.3 steals, 52% from 3. What did he have tonight?
He was 2 of 5 from downtown tonight, but one of them was that big 3 in the fourth quarter when they made that run.
But he was a plus 17, had 21 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals.
Cool.
He's kind of one of those guys that got off to a slow start in the league. Yeah. Kind of like Io from behind the arc, but now Io's starting to heat up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think now this is what, when you think of the Milwaukee Bucks, what we saw tonight, that's the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yes.
And that's without Middleton, who, if what they were saying on the broadcast, should be playing within the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then that should actually make them a little better. But it's going to take a while for him to fit in.
Yeah.
You know, this is one of those teams that you just honestly, we'll probably forget about in the regular season, except when we play them. Because who will we talk about? We'll talk about Cleveland and we'll talk about Boston, right? Philly's just going to kind of flounder. Milwaukee, but then those are the teams that you're going to talk a lot about in the playoffs because of what so much is expected of those teams. And then we'll see where they are. Because right now, Milwaukee just wants to get into the playoffs and get a top 4 seed to get some home games and get some home court advantage. Philly, they just want to right the ship and get themselves probably in the top 6.
Right.
Okay? But that's just the league as a whole. My biggest thing is that Billy's been addressing this now for a while, and that's the defense. What did we talk about in the game about what are the Bulls' opponents average per game?
Like 123 points.
And what did the Bucks have tonight?
122 points.
What did the Bucks shoot from the field?
Bucks shot 55% from the field.
I have the splits. Do you want them?
Oh, sure. Why not?
Oh, there we go.
This is prior to today.
Right.
This was going into tonight's game.
Yep.
And you gave up 122 points.
Yep.
Right?
And, Bulls didn't even manage to get to that 112 they average in their losses this season.
Bulls shot 38% from 3.
Started hot, totally fell off a cliff in the second half.
Right. But when your opponent shoots 55%,
yes,
it's almost impossible. You obviously have to shoot better.
Yeah.
But the other thing is the fouls.
Yeah.
That kind of
I was going to say.
That's something that we hadn't really talked about a lot, but tonight the Milwaukee Bucks were 21 of 31.
And the Bulls were
7 of 7.
Ooh.
7 free throw attempts to 31.
Woo.
They shot 100%.
Which on their 7. Whereas the Bucks only managed 21 of 31. Curious if Billy has made mention of that free throw disparity. But also it's just like, look, the Bucks are an aggressive team and the Bulls defense does not really have a whole lot to stand on, and they foul players who are better and stronger than them, and said players go to the free throw line. I mean, Giannis was 7 of 14 at the line.
But it's you made it. What did you just say about Milwaukee? Milwaukee is a what type of team?
Better and stronger?
Aggressive?
Yeah. They were taking it to the Bulls.
Points in the paint, 54 to 34.
Slap.
Who just dropped 80 points in the paint on the Bulls?
That was the Rockets game. Yeah.
I will. Boom. Boom. That's what that means, ladies and gentlemen.
Look, the Bulls defense did not look great tonight. It hasn't looked great much at all this year.
Yeah.
And I see people in the comments talking about the commentary from the ESPN broadcast crew. Julia said they suck. Doris and the other guy, Giannis. Giannis this, Giannis that. Give me a break.
What would you expect him to talk about?
Pointed out that Doris called D-Loss O saying Doris called out Kobe and Josh. I think unless you're talking about something else that I missed, Doris just said that Kobe was having a rough night and not as successful as he was in their first game against the Bucks, which is accurate. Yeah. And then somebody else, Kimberly, talked about Doris' specific comment about Giddey literally just stepping out of the way, showing no interest in playing defense on one of Giannis's many drives down the paint. And that was an accurate observation.
But also what Doris did say is that Kobe was she didn't say struggling, but he was the last one down the floor.
Yeah.
And then she found out later that he actually hurt his knee, and she apologized, and she said she felt foolish.
Yeah. So there you go. What's up, Katie?
I know we have to take a break. There's something I want to say before we get there.
Do we need some more likes?
Number one, yes, give us more likes. Also, I am very biased for Doris Burke for obvious
Extremely.
reasons.
Yes.
For obvious reasons,
Mhm.
okay? But what positive thing do you want her to say about the Bulls? What do you like? I'm not saying this to you, by the way. I'm saying this to the people that are commenting.
yeah.
Oh, she didn't say anything positive. What do you want her to say? Oh, wow, those 6 wins are so great. Like, no, she has nothing positive to talk about. She gassed Zach up when he earned it.
That.
She talked about Vooch's shooting when he shot well.
Mhm.
But do you want her to talk about Josh Giddey's amazing defense? Like, there is no other positive thing for her to talk about.
That's what I said, Tom.
It's like Bulls fans watching Adam and Stacey call a game and listening to them call a game, watching national broadcast, actually watching a game and call it like they see it.
Yeah.
And that's what you're going to hear when things went the way they went tonight.
You're going to talk about your stars. It's the bottom line.
Oh,
Like,
you're going to
talk
like
about
one of the
stars.
3 to 5 biggest stars in the league?
Yes,
Giannis,
it's
who
gonna
scored
happen.
25 in a quarter?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, they won't stop talking about this guy. I wonder why. Come on now.
Come on.
They would have gone bananas if they were calling the fourth quarter where Zach hit 6 threes.
That's true.
But, and as she said, gassed Zach up when he was playing well in that first half. All right, we do have to take a quick break. We will come back, get more of y'all's thoughts and more of ours. Plus, Will Goat will join us later on in tonight's postgame, breaking down the Bulls' loss to the Bucks.
Hey.
Hey!
Katie, what time is it?
Game time, hoop.
Game time picks. That's the new feature. It makes getting tickets to your favorite teams and watching them play live easier than ever. Game time picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets that you don't want to look at. No, I don't want to go to this. No, I don't want to go to this. Oh, God. Oh, it's curation. Makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, or any other event you can go see. They got the all-in pricing. They got the lowest price guarantee. They got that game time ticket coverage. And, of course, the Matt and Big Dave favorite, the seat views. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. Let me know where the concession stand is, bathroom, where can I stretch my feet out? Oh, love it very much.
Stretch your feet out for what?
Y'all got legs, Will. Did you not see the gams?
The gams
You
need
think it's a game?
Needs
He
space.
It's a
just called
gam,
you
Will.
short.
The gams are insured. They got to be stretched out. They can't sit all clogged up behind somebody else. They got to be stretched. No, easy. He don't know.
Do you shave them?
He don't know. Naturally look like that. Naturally look that amazing, Will.
Cocoa butter?
No, not cocoa butter. You know what I mean? It's like a sandalwood that I kind of put, the scent that I put on there, man. And I got a new one, too.
Do we have another ad to read or something?
You're asking me the question about the gams. I'm talking about the gams. Take the guess where I got to buy tickets for game
You're
time
the goon of the
picks.
night.
Every night, Will. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code CHGO. Get yourself $20 off your first purchase.
Terms apply. Terms apply.
I said CHGO. Get yourself $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Because Will Perdue. What time is it?
Game time.
Post game tonight also brought to you by our friend. You know what, Dave? Can we have a conversation real quick?
We about to talk?
Yeah,
my
I want
God.
to talk to you about ComEd. Because, Big Dave, ComEd can help businesses save money by becoming more energy efficient.
You know what, man? I did not know that.
Well, now you do, Dave. The Energy Efficiency Program can help find you up to 35% in energy saving.
Wow. So what does a business have to do?
I am so glad you asked me that question, Big Dave, because
Thank you.
here's your answer.
Okay.
It's so simple.
I'm ready.
Just sign up for a free, FREE, free facility assessment
Mhm.
at ComEd.com/biz, B-I-Z-biz.
Wait, you're finished? That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Wait, that's it. So why are more businesses doing this?
I don't know, Dave. I haven't a clue why more people and businesses are taking advantage of this. I don't know. Maybe they just forgot the website.
Well, it's right there in their face. It's so simple. It's ComEd.com/biz.
That's it.
It's ComEd.com/biz.
That's the one.
ComEd.com/biz.
You nailed it. That should do it. Terms and conditions apply. Offers are subject to change. Actual savings will vary by customer's energy usage rate. ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is funded in compliance with state law.
State.
Check out that website, ComEd.com/biz. Connor in the comments saying, shout out Katie for singing up for Doris. Completely agree. There's I like how there's like a Doris Burke debate going on in our comments today. As far as the actual game, What's up, Kate? You got,
Wait,
you got
this
something
comment
else?
didn't realize that Big Dave was a cat because in the entire ad read, you're up here with your voice the whole time. I don't know what was happening.
That's like a chipmunk more so.
Yeah, man. You know, that's only comes out during the ComEd reads. You know what I mean? That's how it
Exactly.
comes out. Because I'm so surprised that people don't know this. It's not
Exactly.
surprising to you. It's shocking to me.
The savings are shocking.
Come on, man.
Shocking
I
stuff.
mean, that's how Science feels. Come on.
Look, I won't lie. I'm a little disappointed that we didn't get a 40 burger from Zach tonight. Can we talk about that for a second? Because, oh my God, first half Zach was like in his bag.
Yeah, it was fun to watch.
That one shot he made with the shot clock winding down, just falling out of bounds off the baseline, like in the corner. I mean, like, you know, I saw our guy Goat had a tweet that said, I'm pretty sure after that one, Zach LaVine's difficult shot making is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And at times it truly is ridiculous. And you can like feel it when he hits one and then he hits two.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, well now it's about to be the Zach LaVine show.
Yep.
And we got another glimpse of it tonight in the first half. It's a shame that we didn't see more of it in the second half.
Yes.
For a variety of reasons. But man, I think even in that first half, Zach reminded a national audience and some Bulls fans who can't watch their team right now that dude is special.
Yeah, he's something else. Go ahead, Will.
No, I mean, we've talked about this a lot. The ability of Zach when DeMar was here, difficulty level of the shots they consistently hit is just, it's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that we talk about is that's how good Zach can be. Mm-hmm. But what are we constantly asking for? Consistency. Mm-hmm. And that's quite honestly on both ends of the floor. But that's he can be and has the skill set to be that good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the question is he happy with just being an all-star? Or is he really driven to be something better than just an all-star? And I don't mean it to be degrading by saying just an all-star. Mm-hmm. But
you're talking all-pro.
Like superstar.
Yeah, I got you. The pump fake he has, it's rare that I see players in the NBA hit shots the way he does. And I'm not just talking about the pump fake from the mid-range. He pump fakes from the three-point line.
Yeah.
And it's all water every single time. Like, I've never really seen that before. He's kind of mastered that. Like, back you down, turn his back to you, pump fake a fadeaway, then shoot the fadeaway, and it's all money. Like, the shot he hit from the baseline, that was a three, that they made a two.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Insanity. Yeah, right. Like, just complete insanity. And I love the fact that he had, as you were pointing out, Will, what you're gonna do to make yourself that better player. I like that he had the 5 rebounds. I like that he had the 6 assists as well. He had a great pass that you and I screamed at each other from across the room about to Jalen Smith.
That whip pass to Jalen under the basket.
Something nice, man.
Gorgeous.
That was really nice.
Yeah.
Really dope by Zach LaVine. And he like I told you last time, Matt, he's carving out those times to take over.
Yeah.
And what it's also showing is when he doesn't carve out those times, that how he's forcing the basketball. Mm-hmm. And so that's when those turnovers happen and that old Zach stuff comes out. And you see him, making those mistakes because he's trying to win and just trying to do something. And we watched him do that for a long time. But when he's just smooth as he was in that first half, man, especially when that 5-minute mark hits in that second quarter, Zach just gets real smooth on people. And he definitely did it tonight against Milwaukee. It just couldn't contain it. And I don't want to take away from the Bucks defense either because they did a couple of different things on him. But, yeah, the 7 points only in the second half. But he still put up some nice numbers for this team.
ISO Noah just threw us a $5 super chat. Appreciate you saying if we don't have Zach, we get blown out in the second quarter. Can we stop the Giddey experiment? Because it seems like every time he was in, the Bucks took back off. Let's touch on Josh Giddey next. He did play 26 minutes, finished with just 5 points on 2 of 9. Not even a big, boards and assists night for Giddey. 4 boards, 3 dimes, 2 turnovers, reasonable number there. Did finish as a minus 15. looked for a second like Billy was going to close with Giddey down the stretch.
He did.
After this stretch of games where we've seen him close with Ayo over Josh Giddey, and we've talked about it at length. We spent our entire show yesterday talking about Giddey. Go give it a view after tonight's postgame if you're not ready for bed yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it looked like, are we finally going to see Billy Donovan let Giddey close a game?
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out he just faked us out.
Yes.
Because Kobe White checked back into the game. This was like around 4-minute mark, maybe 3:45. And Giddey stays on the floor. Ayo comes out. 30 seconds later, there's another stoppage in play. Ayo comes back on the floor. Giddey goes out. And that was before the white flag timeout from Billy that only, came at like the 1.5 minute mark or 1:15 mark.
Mm-hmm.
The Bulls were still maybe within striking distance. And again, he closes with Ayo over Giddey. What do we think about that and Giddey's game tonight?
I'll deal with the second part first. I think that's just what par for the course now. I mean, you've seen enough games to show that this is what Billy is going to do.
Yep.
And this is exactly how he's going to run it down the stretch. He even might, if in a close game, he might go offense, defense, depending on how Giddey is playing. But overall, it's going to be Ayo Dosunmu with that team on the floor when that about 4-minute mark hits in that fourth quarter. That's what you're going to see. So I'm completely comfortable with it because Billy has made it known this is what it's going to be. As far as his game tonight, I mean, he simply didn't play well. All your starters in double figures outside of Josh Giddey. He missed layups. He missed threes. He did not have it tonight. I mean, how many assists? 3 assists, but he had 2 turnovers. With that, he just had a tough night. A minus 15 out there on the floor. What did he shoot from 3? 1 of 4?
He was 1 of 4.
Yeah, and you mentioned the facilitating Zach was doing to him.
Yeah.
In that fourth quarter.
I think 2 of those 3-point attempts from Giddey were in the fourth quarter when the Bulls were not out of this game yet.
You could see on that second one, he did not want to do it. He didn't want to pass it to him.
Yeah, he shouldn't be shooting this.
No. All right, fine. Go ahead.
I don't know, Jim.
Tony Romo.
Channeling his inner Tony Romo.
But he just wasn't sure, and it just was a tough game for Josh Giddey. And, yeah, man, like, it's just a tough game. That's all I can say about it.
He did not have one of his better games, period. And he was constantly under attack on the defensive end. I mean, they were hunting him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what any NBA team with a lick of sense now is doing.
It's the same thing the Dallas Mavericks did to OKC.
Yeah.
Same thing the Cavs did too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially in the fourth quarter.
They sure did.
And it's one of 2 things have to happen. I know Giddey has talked about it, but at some point his actions have to back up his words as far as what he's attempting to do I think, listen, I like Giddey because I think he's kind of a basketball savant.
Yeah.
What we're not seeing is that transfer onto the court consistently. I think what we can say about, let's use Zach as an example. I think Zach got to the point within the last 2 years, he's like, all right, enough of this talk about I don't play defense. Let me show you I can play defense. And he's done it enough times where you now know he can do it. It's just a choice of whether he chooses to play defense or not. And when I mean does he choose to go all out and really give it 100% effort to really lock somebody down and make it difficult? Or does he kind of just go 50% and pick and choose when he decides to play defense? Yeah. You know he has that capability. Mm-hmm. We know because we were there, Giddey talked about it, how he worked on his defense in the offseason. So we expected to see a difference, not necessarily in the result, but in the effort.
Yeah.
When the analyst, in this case Doris Burke, talks about how Giddey chooses to step out of the way instead of, take the charge.
Yeah.
And she even mentioned that Billy Donovan in a recent postgame interview said, for the love of God, would somebody take a charge? Like she was doing her homework on that.
So it's not just us picking on somebody. It's
telling the truth.
It's kind of like Mr. Obvious.
Yeah.
We're we're talking about low-hanging fruit, but then when the national coverage starts talking about it, that's when you really need to take notice and be like, okay, Josh, at some point, you have to truly make a decision to invest in what you're attempting to do on the defensive end of the floor, or Billy can't play you.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as Matt talked about, you're going to see a lot of offense for defense type of substitutions, but I understand from a facilitating standpoint, he's probably the best player they have. But at the end of the day, we can sit here and talk about, and I had this conversation with Matt on the phone about,
flex.
Because I haven't been here for a couple games because they've been on the road.
Right.
Because Gottlieb's been here, but have you guys talked about, Io being a starter?
Yeah. I mean, it's a conversation that's come up several different times over the last couple months.
Mm-hmm.
And we can pick back up on that after we come back from this very quick break to shout out some more of our sponsors and tell you that while we're doing so, multitask, listen to some ads, hit that thumbs up button. Do it for Katie. Do it for Troll Joe. Do it for Will Perdue. Do it for Will Gottlieb, who drove up to Wisconsin today to cover a Bulls game. In a storm. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are sponsored by the Chicago Sports Network, the new home of the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox games, CHSN. We'll broadcast more than 300 live games per year across the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox, and will feature a full lineup of original Chicago-focused sports content. They are Chicago-based, they are Chicago-built, and they are Chicago to the bone. And they're bringing it to every corner of Chicago across our beautiful 77 neighborhoods and beyond. At CHSN, Chicago comes first. Visit chsn.com for more info on how to watch the Bulls, Hawks, and Sox games all season long. And when you finish watching those games, tune into the post-game shows for all three of those teams, like this one right here on CHGO.
Tonight's post-game show also brought to you by our friends at Empire Today.
Mm-hmm.
With Empire, you get shop at home convenience, the right product for your needs, a quick and professional installation, and a low price guarantee. Empire is the best place to get new flooring, so of course they have copycats amongst their wannabe competitors. But Empire can't be beaten on quality service or speed, so all those competitors try to do is advertise low-quality products at basement prices that Empire simply doesn't even bother to carry. Empire won't promise the lowest prices because anyone who does promise the lowest prices is just offering you crap flooring that they wouldn't put in their own home, so why would you put it in yours?
Crap.
That's the real truth. Also, check out their virtual floor designer, a great way to see how new floors look in any space in your home. It's really easy to use. Just snap a picture, then instantly see how new floors would look in your different rooms, dining room, living room, kitchen, decor, paints on your walls, all that jazz. They also service their own warranties. Anytime you have an issue, you don't need to track down any other manufacturer's numbers. Just call Empire.
Thespian, right?
Yes, it's true.
Schedule a free in-home estimate today, and all listeners can receive a $350 discount when they use promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. See EmpireToday.com/ excuse me, CHGO for details.
Is that actually a sneeze?
Empire.
Is that a sneeze, or are you holding it?
That's how you do it.
Yes.
That was me holding in a sneeze, yeah.
Yes. That's why I held the note. That's how you look out for your guy so he gets a refreshment while you hitting that note like that.
That's
It's
right.
called teamwork.
And Katie literally just threw her microphone across
she picked
the room.
it up and tossed it across. You missed it, Will, when she pushed herself away from the desk.
No, I saw it.
All the way back to the wall.
I saw
I
it.
tell you, we don't keep a top 5 of these, man. Like, it's just getting ridiculous now. Like, it's out of control.
So, circling back to the Giddey Io stuff, people in our comments chiming in too. Paul saying it's hard to argue that Io is becoming a good closer comparatively to, why is he closing over Josh Giddey? Because, the Bulls are not excellently closing games. They're 6-10. Io was a -18 off the bench tonight. Somebody else just said, please get Lonzo back, SOS, because Io ain't it and Giddey ain't it. So, when it comes to the Io Giddey thing, I think it's clear that however we feel as Bulls fans, Billy Donovan has made it very clear how he feels.
Yeah.
Which is that even on a night like tonight when Io is not having the best of nights, he still trusts Io more than he thus far trusts newcomer Josh Giddey. Even though Io is having a really rough start to his year, He's not knocking down his threes.
Yeah.
You know, he's always going to give you effort on defense. Sometimes he'll have slip-ups. And to his credit, even when the shot's not falling, like how many quick IO transition buckets did we see tonight? Because we saw at least a few of them, including in the fourth quarter when the Bulls were trying to salvage staying in that game.
Yeah.
Even if IO is not having a great night, it is clear he has earned more of Billy's trust at this point than Josh Giddey.
Yeah, Billy has shown us over the years how to develop trust and how to develop trust in him. And it's defense is the main thing. Like, he needs you out there on the floor active defensively. How do we know that? Well, Ayo Dosunmu, being a rookie, comes in from game one and starts. Ayo's always been a guy who can affect the game on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. We also know that when Torrey Craig got here and we started seeing him starting over Patrick Williams. We know Patrick was struggling, offensively, but not only was Torrey Craig doing it offensively, he would impact you defensively as well. So he's got to have that. Josh Giddey, he's going to have that because he's like, I know what you can do as far as like a Lonzo Ball kind of thing, but do you know what Lonzo Ball also did? Was play defense. He was a defender out there on the floor, man. A guy who we thought, remember in that first year that he was here, we thought he would be on the all-defensive team. He was that good. And that is what Billy will always hang his hat on as far as gaining trust in him that he has for other players. He talked about it with Modest. That's what Modest said. I have to get better defensively. That's what he talked about. When you were talking with him, Will, that's what he talked about, was getting the better defensively. They understand that that's what it takes to develop that kind of trust in Billy Donovan. You have to be better defensively out there on the floor, or it's going to be hard for him to trust you to put you out there.
I did hear a jingle. So, Katie, why don't we bring in the other Will part of our crew?
Will, too.
Go.
Whoop.
That's where it's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Oh, I did.
Joining us on the Go Talk Hotline, live from Fiserv Forum, up there above the border in enemy territory. It's Will the Goat Gottlieb, Will_Gottlieb for his reporting. AllCHGO.com is where you can read his great analysis on our here Bulls. Bulls fall a little short in this one. Huge third quarter for Giannis. Zach starts hot but kind of fades. We were just talking about the whole Giddey Ayo thing and how that kind of, after a quick fake out from Billy, ended up going the same way with Giddey off the floor. What was the headline coming from either Billy or his players after this loss?
Yeah, I think it was just like attention to detail and defensive execution. And I feel like they kind of feel like they were close. They could have maybe had this one, a couple of really costly turnovers Zach mentioned. But I think the big thing was just the free throw disparity. And Billy called it out immediately. There was a moment in the locker room where Zach and Vooch both realized that they got 0 free throw attempts in the entire second half, and the Bucks had 20. So it's just tough to win games that way. And I think there's only so much you can do when like your closest thing that you have to a Giannis stopper is Patrick Williams, and he's not available. Torrey Craig was outstanding, stepping in, playing really his first minutes of the year, and having to like take on that assignment is incredible. But like he didn't play 48 minutes, and so Vooch was on him at times. But they're switching Zach and Kobe onto him, and I was doing his best. It's just you're not equipped to handle that. And Billy was like very careful not to like call anybody out specifically or like accuse anybody of anything, but he's just saying like when you are a younger team out there, there's just a level of defensive execution, attention to detail that you have to have, whether it's I'm supposed to get over a screen or under a screen, depending on who I'm guarding, or I need to X out this way or that way, depending on where the ball gets moved. It's just, it has to be sharper. And the only way to really do that, I think, is experience. But it just felt like they were a little bit too far away, especially in, I think, some of those younger groups. And then, you had some really incredible shot making from Zach in the second quarter. The team, I thought, played much better, more kind of aligned with the way that the Bulls want to play offensively in that third quarter. But fourth quarter, 16 points, when you're putting them to the line so many times, even if you're shooting well from three, it's just tough to win that way, especially against a team that is as dominant as the Bucks when they've got Giannis going like that. So just a tough loss, but I felt like there were some things that you could build on, and I think they all felt like a little bit encouraged by how closely they played it.
Will, one player that had an impressive night was Torrey Craig, the 15 points and the 6 rebounds in 27 minutes. Talk a little bit about his game and how did he look after the game, because we saw him go down grabbing his ankle and getting to the bench in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, I don't think the injury was serious. He basically like hit a camera falling out of bounds. And I guess like Billy said that he kind of like hit basically the equivalent of his funny bone in his knee, and it kind of shot some tingling pain down his leg. But he seemed fine. He said he had some bumps and bruises, maybe a little bit of blood, but he's a competitor. He wants to be out there. He wants that assignment. He wants to take on that challenge. And he did. I thought he played fantastically. He said after the game, like, I wish I could have made a few more of those threes, but I mean, he seemed pretty happy with the way that he played individually. And how could you not? I mean, he was great. He was attacking the offensive glass. He was making shots. I think he had the first 6 points of the game. He was moving the ball. He was defending at a high level. Just really everything that you want for a guy that, again, was out of the rotation and now stepped into a starting role, and he played, 27 minutes. So really solid game for him. And I think, Patrick's going to be out for a little while here. They said basically all of next week. So he's for sure going to miss tonight and then the back-to-back. And then essentially what Billy said was that they need to let the inflammation calm down before they figure out a plan from there. And so I think Torrey's going to be in the rotation for a little while here while the Bulls try to get Patrick back on his feet.
So, Will, when you're watching this game, and sometimes we talk about how the game doesn't really it translates, but there's just different things you can see when you're actually at the game. Where was in your opinion, the intensity level of how this game was played tonight?
I think it was like, I don't know. To me, it felt like there was a sense of urgency in the sense that they were like trying to keep up the whole time. And I know they were ahead at times and they were making the threes, but it just felt like, they were a bunch of people like trying to hold Giannis back from dunking every single possession. And it's just, he's that good. He's that dominant that he can, fundamentally change your defense in that way. And so I don't feel like there was like a lack of effort per se. It just felt to me like there was physically not much they could do with that. And I think Giannis makes a lot of people feel that way. So I don't know. I think the execution and the attention to detail, especially with the younger players, like that stuff will continue to improve. Like Zach in particular, I thought was like really aggressive in the first half, scoring the ball. The second quarter, where he was like trying to do everything that he could to keep them in this game. He was facilitating well. The Bulls were hitting their threes. So it just felt like they were doing, I think, especially offensively in the second half, the right things. And I asked Zach about this after the game, like, what were you guys doing that did not work in the fourth quarter? Because you only had 16 points. And he was like, well, I felt like we were trying to get the right looks. We were trying to play the right way, but we had some really costly turnovers. So just kind of like those minor things that as you're climbing back, as you're fighting your way back into this game, or you're trying to keep it close and you have one of those, it can be really backbreaking. And then other side of the court, Giannis gets, an offensive rebound, tip dunk and one. And it's just like devastating. And so I think that kind of play happened quite a bit. And I think that can kind of take the wind out of your sails a little bit.
What about Kobe, Goat? We saw with the broadcast and him left the game for a while, had a wrap on his leg, took it off. What is Kobe okay? What's his prognosis moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, he played. We didn't hear anything after the game as to whether like it was anything serious. I don't think it was. But he was fired up afterwards. I mean, in the locker room, kind of talking about what they could have done better, how they needed to do to execute defensively a little bit better on Giannis when he's at the block, and when they need to double, because his ability to get off the ball, if you double too early, he's going to find an open shooter. If you double too late, it's already 2 points. So they were talking a lot about how can they adjust to that. And again, it speaks to the leadership we talked about, where he was really kind of trying to lead that conversation and try to figure out ways to problem solve and find solutions for how they can be better. So we'll obviously keep an eye on him. The Bulls have another back-to-back Friday, Saturday, I want to say. And so we'll see what it looks like for him on the injury report, but it didn't seem like anything serious. And obviously played the whole second half.
Okay. Also real quick before you get out of here, people in the comments were talking, as we were just talking about, how a wonderful job Torrey Craig did tonight after lots of inaction. Does this spark the debate of whether or not Patrick Williams has earned himself a starting spot when Patrick hopefully returns from this absence? What do you make of that question?
It's a one-game sample. I probably am not ready to make any major decisions based on that, but I mean, clearly Torrey played really well and Patrick has been up and down. So he needs to find some more consistency. But first things first, like you said, he needs to get healthy. And the way that they're talking about this with no real plan in terms of basically we're going to give him this week in order to let the inflammation die down before we figure out a plan. Like, to me, they haven't said this, but that signals to me that this might be a little while. And so regardless of what you think about Patrick right now, it sounds like maybe Torrey Craig is going to be a more featured part of the rotation regardless.
Okay, Goat, they got a concept of a plan. We will let you go because you got to finish your work up there and then a long drive home from Milwaukee late tonight. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate the insights and the time. Safe travels home. Bulls Nation, follow our guy, Will the Goat Gottlieb, Will_Gottlieb on the socials, and read his stuff, allchgo.com.
I just want to say one thing before we go.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to the Cams.
Appreciate that, man.
The leg prisons are back. I'm sorry to say
leg prisons in effect, baby.
They're not dead.
No,
They've just gone into hibernation.
You know what I mean? Yeah, locked up like Akon. You know what I'm saying? Like we just locked up for a little bit. We always know this time of year is coming. You know, it's just a different level of awesomeness that I have to put on. But I want shorts all day long. But thank you, Will, for caring.
Foot prisons are on too, but you don't hear me complaining about it.
I'm sorry to see that too.
All right, go get home safe, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, that's our guy, the Goat. All right, we got to take one more quick break. Then we'll come back, wrap up with our final thoughts and y'all's final thoughts on tonight's game while we are sharing these words. You know what to do. Hit that like if you haven't done it yet.
Get it, Will.
Or Katie will come after you.
Stretch.
Tonight's postgame brought to you by Ray Chevrolet. With the Black Friday sales event going on all month long, not just on Black Friday itself, at Ray Chevy, you can score doorbuster deals on your next vehicle without the door-busting stress. Head in today to shop their huge selection of new Chevy models with special Black Friday prices. And right now, take anywhere from $3,250 all the way up to $13,000 off MSRP on new Chevy models. Or shop over 125 of the vehicles priced under $20,000. As one of the top-selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories. And if you've heard of Ray Chevrolet, you've also heard of Ray's Price Promise. They're guaranteed to make your next vehicle more affordable than ever with no price changing, no add-ons, no hidden fees ever. That means the incredible prices we're talking about right now, you can expect to see those very same prices when you shop Ray Chevy in-store and online. Shop the Black Friday sales event all month long by visiting Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive.
You need to look cool while you're doing that, too.
Oh, of course you do.
So not only are you going to look cool while you're sitting in that car from my guy Ray, but you can look extra smooth, rocking them shady Rays.
Oh, snap.
Doing two things that Will Perdue loves to do, look cool and save yourself some money. So get ready for the season ahead with the quality shades that are built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays got you covered with those premium polarized shades that will not break the bank. Shady Rays, the independent sunglasses company, offering a world-class product that's rated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames. Their shades have crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for your outdoor, and as this gentleman will always prove, your indoor adventiones. They've got hundreds of options to choose from, ladies and gentlemen. You're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style. They got something for you, even in your team's colors. And even if you don't love them shades, you can exchange them for a new pair or return them worry-free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop, and their team always has your back. So, exclusive for the listeners out there, Shady Rays is giving away their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com. Use the code CHGO for 35% off those premium polarized shades. Drive it yourself. The shades that are rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people, because Shady Rays, y'all, but the Rays are just oh so shady.
Oh, so shady.
Hey, want to give a big shout out to Ray from Ray Auto, man, because I forgot that he received the Auto Remarketing Dealers 40 Under 40 Award.
Oh, yeah?
Shout out to him for that. He had to go all the way to Arizona to get himself an award, doing big things to my man out there. Shout out to Ray.
Respect
to you. So.
Like 40, like list of people, 40
like 40 under 40. Yes.
Age of 40?
Yes, correct. Definitely made the list, man. So shout out to him for that. That means he's doing
We need to get our guy, Uncle Will, a 40 over 40 award.
Oh, he's got him. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 rings on them fingers right there. That's his fault right
I
there.
don't-
We
I
need
don't know.
Katie to get a 30 under 30 award of some kind.
I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know if I have enough time left to achieve that one.
Hey, do
You
you
got
have a non-zero amount of time? And you got time. All the hours, all the minutes, and all the days that we have.
She's getting ready to leave the country, and she might not come back.
Oh, snap.
Oh, she's coming
Yeah, I
back.
might not come back. I'm gonna
I
take.
mean, why
take
wouldn't you
one
want to
bite.
come back to this nonsense
no.
and the Bulls nonsense?
I'm gonna take one bite of that Italian pasta and just never leave. So
I'm not mad at her.
Looks like we got to start interviewing producers again, Dave.
That's all right. I got a couple.
At
Just
some,
like I had Katie waiting, I got a couple, baby. I'm always
at
ready.
some point, when do you guys look at yourselves and be like, maybe it's us?
Oh, every day. Every day. And then I say, nah.
maybe it's because we tried to make her sing on the show. Maybe that's what it was.
we tried to make her have fun. Oh,
Bah.
that sucks. Oh.
Okay, in case of offense, I will say some people just don't like singing.
Yeah.
And they have they're just like, I don't like doing it.
We have
I don't-
literally sung together sitting over there. I ain't trying to hear what she's saying.
All
She
right.
just don't want to do it on the microphone.
No, it's just stubbornness.
It's not for public consumption.
Understandable.
Whereas everything Dave and I do and say is pretty much for public consumption. Speaking
So-
of public consumption,
What do we got a few minutes left here, right?
we do.
We're about to go in.
No, so
About to go in.
let's flip it a little bit and let's
Here you
try to
go.
let's end on a positive note.
All right,
Let's do it, baby.
So let's talk about two guys in Julian Phillips and Dalen
Dalen
Terry.
Terry.
Mhm.
Somebody in the comments just said, hey, shout out to Dalen. He gave good minutes tonight.
He did.
So first of all, let's start out with Dalen.
Okay.
Okay.
Tell me what you like, Will.
So I got to be very careful how I word
Take your time.
this.
The 10 points he had, the one rebound, the one assist, the one steal.
First of all, the best asset he brings is his motor,
Yes, without a doubt.
and it's
100% agree.
his desire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because you can obviously tell by just how hard he plays. He doesn't leave anything on the floor. Okay, and what you're starting to see is that effort in that work is starting to develop consistent production. Okay, now I'm not sitting here saying he's going to give us 10 points every night.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that was his first double-digit scoring game of the season.
Okay, but I'm just saying, and he's as we always talk about, he's putting Billy in that position to where Billy feels like he needs to be out on the floor more
Yes.
because he's making positive things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, sometimes it won't necessarily show up in the box score because, there's no line in the box score for deflections, for how many times he's gotten down on the floor for a loose ball, gotten a jump ball in a situation, and then actually won the tap. Just finding ways to have a positive impact on this game, and I got to give him credit. I mean, he's really worked on his shot.
Yeah.
Because he's starting to become a lot more consistent. I mean, he was 2 of 2 from behind the line.
2 of them things.
Now, he's got a long way to go. I'm not going to lie to you, but
Before he hits those 6 that Dave's talking about.
Yeah.
yeah, but considering this guy played a bunch of games in the G League last year,
Mm-hmm.
and a guy that I honestly felt should have been playing in the summer league, quite honestly.
I remember
Yeah.
you saying that. Yes.
Yep.
But he's just kind of chipping away at finding an avenue to generate minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the question is, and this is what we don't know, is what's his ceiling? How much better can he actually get than what we're seeing right now?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know that.
I mean, I'll give my 2 cents and then toss it to the president of the Dalen Terry fan club. I have always said that I believe in a lot of the things that Perdue just talked about with Dalen. The high motor, his instincts and creativity in transition opportunities and using said motor in those transition opportunities. He's a great passer running in the open floor. A guy who can hustle on the defensive end, hustle on the glass. You like having players like that on your team. Picking a fight with Isaiah Stewart, human Tasmanian devil,
Beef stew.
the other night. You love having a guy like that has some of that crazy in him on your team. I have always said it will come down to, can he get himself a respectable shot? Can he force his coach to say, well, I need your defense, and you've proven to me that I can rely on you to knock down an open shot. Therefore, you get minutes. And I know that you just said his shot's coming around a little bit, Will, and I will agree with you to the extent of his form on his shot looks remarkably better than where it started, because that was ugly as crap. It's starting to look more like a human who knows how to shoot a basketball. But is it coming around as far as like reliability? And I know that this is partly because of his limited minutes, but just say per 36 minutes this season, per 36 minutes, he's taken 2.6 3-point attempts. And on those 2.6 attempts per 36 minutes, he's shooting 28.6%. There is a long way to go, in my opinion, before Dalen Terry adds that part to his game and therefore is a more complete player deserving of more minutes.
Well, he's that guy that, because, and no disrespect, and as soon as you say that, I go, oh, you're looking to disrespect. I'm not, because of how the game has changed and it's about analytics and everything's about plus minus. He's that guy that you got to find, what's that number? Like tonight, 6 is he that guy that's 12 to 16 minute range? He's going to always have a positive impact, but if he plays more than that, that's when you start to see, diminishing returns. That's just, unfortunately, I think, where he's going to sit right now with this team, unless you have some significant injuries. That being said, though, I have a sneaking suspicion.
Sneaky.
That as the season goes on and things happen, he's going to get some chances to play like some games where he's going to get 28 to 32 minutes. And then we're going to see, okay, and not just in per 36, but if he actually plays 36, this is what happens.
Right.
Because they really need to answer that question, okay? Now, probably the guy, and I know when you look at Julian Phillips' numbers,
hold on.
what?
Let me add to this Dalen Terry discussion real quick. I think Dalen has, proven that he can get on the floor without the 3-point shot, because Billy is playing him constantly, putting him out there on the floor. And as you mentioned, not shooting a great percentage from 3, but still giving him 10 to 15 minutes a game. That's saying a lot for me right there.
Yep.
He has carved out a nice niche for himself coming off the bench, whether he's running the point, bringing the ball up, whether he's cheating at the 3, not really at the 2 so much because he's not shooting. So Billy likes the ball in his hands. He's a really good passer at the same time. And his defense, his on-ball defense especially, I really, really like. I feel like what he does well shines brighter on a team that's winning. On a winning team, Dalen Terry and what he likes to do shines bright. So on a team like this, the flaws are much more noticeable because they're much bigger, because the margin of error is so much smaller. So you're definitely right when you're saying you need that 3-point shot, especially on this kind of team, because we need as many positives from him as you can get. But a dude who can't shoot, and a dude who isn't a guy who's going to break you down off the dribble, still getting you 10 points, still affecting the game, still getting guys involved, still ready to fight anybody, no matter how big or small they are out there. That's a dude you're going to need if you want to. I always felt like he's a winning kind of player. So I just feel like as the team gets better, what he does well will be more magnified. And that's going to take some time because they're obviously not in that position right now. But I love how he has carved out his own niche and his own place on this roster.
I will tell you one thing, though. In that locker room after the game, he realized that he made a mistake.
What mistake was that, Will?
By
fighting beef stew?
Yeah.
I'm just glad he survived it.
Yeah, you don't think about it when you're doing it. You know what I mean? It
then
just
afterwards,
happens, you know what I mean? But afterwards,
when your teammates are talking about how they'd scrape you up off the ground, and
right,
carry you back to the locker room.
Yeah,
but
man.
Indeed,
he didn't hesitate.
And before we get to Uncle Will's final thought of the night, I know you want to say something about Julian. That's going to do it for our viewers on our fast streaming channels and services of various kinds. If you want to catch the rest of the episode, just head on over to allchgo.com. Okay, so shout out to our guy Connor in the comments because he just said Dave, you need guys who are willing to go all out defensively. ... Shot making be damned. And I think that kind of goes in line with what you were saying a little bit. Like, hey, even with Dalen, basically still not even taking that many threes and only hitting them at a sub 30% rate, Billy is still playing him, and that says something.
It says a lot because Billy doesn't want to do that, but it also goes back to what do you have to do for Billy to trust you?
Right.
Play that defense, especially if you're a young guy. And he looks forward to playing defense. He wants the toughest matchup. He doesn't care how big or small they are. He wants to go in at them. He's going to definitely have to put on some more weight. He's definitely put on some this season. You see it. I think he puts on just a little bit more along with the work ethic that he has. You're going to have something that you really want on a winning team when you're ready to do that kind of thing, man. But, yeah, I just like that he's carved out a niche and hasn't sat back and waited, for it to be handed to him or something. He went ahead and took it and was like, nope, I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to do, and I know I do this part well, so I'm going to focus on this part, and that's what I'm going to try to do well.
Yes. Julian Phillips?
Yeah. I think as the game started to get out of hand, I kind of started watching him specifically. I think that he's gotten much better. We know that, you look at it tonight, his 3-point shot. I mean, last year, that 3-point shot was, as Kendall Gill liked to talk about, murder rock.
Shout out.
But he's now getting to the point where he's consistent.
He was 2 of 4 tonight.
But the biggest thing is he's kind of like, he's reminding me of Bruce Bowen.
Ooh,
okay. In the sense that he's finding the corners.
Bruce Bowen. Ooh.
So that when he can, I'm just talking about this part, when he can catch, so he can catch and shoot in the corner.
That's awesome. It's an awesome comparison.
Right? So that's the easiest place to be able to make a three.
Mm-hmm.
And he's knocking those down consistently, in my opinion. The other thing I've noticed is that the one thing he does that I don't think he gets credit for, he does a lot of proper rotations on defense to cover guys' backs.
Yeah.
Specifically tonight, numerous times when Vooch rotated, he rotated on the weak side, and he ended up being the guy blocking out Lopez, blocking out Giannis. But what he doesn't hesitate to do is put a body on somebody.
Right.
But he kind of takes the old school approach. He's not down there trying to get the rebound. What he's doing is okay, I'm just going to prevent this guy from getting it, and hopefully one of my teammates gets it, because he doesn't necessarily have the strength to do both at the moment. He only has the strength to do one of two. So he's sacrificing his body, locking himself up on that guy, and preventing that individual from getting the rebound. I like what I see from him when he's doing that, because he's mixing it up with guys a lot bigger than him, but he's not shying away from the contact, and he's doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of little things that add up, again, that don't show up in the box score, but as the team gets better, will play a big role in this team winning games.
Yeah. And, yes, did he get bullied under the basket a few times by Giannis tonight? Yes.
Yeah, but who
Giannis's
doesn't?
muscle mass, is it 2 Julian Phillips's? Yeah. But I agree with a lot of what you just said, Will. And to me, yes, you love to see another young player finding more confidence in his shot when he's open on those looks. But to me, and it's one of the reasons I've always, from the jump, watching him play, watching his tape when the Bulls traded up to the second round to draft him, and then watching his limited minutes his rookie year, to me, he has good instincts. I'm not saying he's a basketball savant. I'm not making any wild claims about giant basketball IQ, just good instincts on the floor. In defensive scenarios, as you were just talking about, his help defense, his defensive rotations, where he can be effective making cuts on the offensive, end of the floor. Yeah. We've seen his teammates find him well on cuts this season when he's gotten minutes. And then, like, one specific example tonight, the Bulls, it was kind of a scramble. It was a frenzy, loose ball. He dove out the baseline and saved the ball back in bounds. And then at some point after that chaos, he wound up with the ball in, like, the back corner on the Bulls side of the court. And then, like a bullet, got an outlet pass to Ayo, who was already breaking down the other way. Yeah. And what did that turn into? An Ayo transition bucket when the Bucks defense wasn't set. Julian Phillips started that. And we talk about Ayo transition buckets being a helpful piece for this Bulls offense, needing to find buckets, needing to make up for the fact that DeMar DeRozan does not exist anymore. Julian Phillips, that is just one example of why I think his instincts are strong.
Yeah, very strong. And even on the other play, Matt, where Bobby Portis tries to back him down and he tries to turn on him and go baseline, and Julius taps the ball from him, grabs it when he's falling out, kicks it straight ahead to Kobe, which was not an easy pass while you're falling out of bounds like that. And that started the transition again for the Chicago Bulls. It's very smart. It's smart and organized chaos that he plays with. Dalen's is a little more reckless with his chaos, and I feel like Julian is a little more organized with his chaos, and I think that's why they kind of play well together with each other when they're out there on the floor.
There's an album name somewhere in there between.
Oh, dude, listen,
reckless chaos, organized chaos.
There's a rap group called Organized Confusion. So shout out to
there you go.
Shout out Pharoah Monch. But Julian, like, he's a little more controlled with the chaotic way that he plays, like, because he knows how to hang around those baselines and get that 3-point shot. Like you mentioned, Matt, the cutting that he does is awesome. Like, you watched his I think that was one thing we always talked about his rookie year, was how impressed we were with his IQ. Mm-hmm. And once you have a solid IQ your rookie season, it's just going to get better. You know, the more you play, that's just how it works in basketball. So you watched it get better this season. And again, Billy develops the trust in him because he plays defense. He plays defense, and he's very solid playing defense. He put him up against Giannis and tried to cheat. Of course, Giannis destroyed it. But he was like, he felt comfortable cheating with Julian Phillips on a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo. So that says a lot to me. But him being his 3-point shot, I feel like everything Matt said about Dalen, I apply it to Julian Phillips, because if you watch it, that's exactly what Matt is talking about. He got his 3-point shot. Mm-hmm. And now just look at how his game has kind of grown and expanded. And this is a dude who can jump out the gym. We know how athletic he is. And I wanted to see that more showcased with the transition basketball, with the fun bad stuff that I want to see. And that's definitely what I want to see from Julian. But he's been awesome, Will. He's been awesome.
You know, it's funny you mention that, because one of the things we did not talk about in tonight's postgame was the fact that, unfortunately, I thought Milwaukee controlled the pace.
Yeah.
The Bulls did not push the pace enough.
Yeah.
Because that's where Phillips would really flourish in this offense, is getting out on the open floor. Mm. And I thought that, you know, the Bulls let the Milwaukee Bucks control the pace a little too much.
Mm.
And certainly in that third quarter, the Giannis quarter, like, it's not the Bucks didn't control the pace. Giannis controlled the pace. And the Bulls let that happen to them. But that happens to a lot of teams.
It's true.
All right, we can wrap it up there for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into postgame. Hit the like button on your way out if you haven't done it yet. Bulls are off tomorrow. We are off tomorrow, taking a day before the Bulls. Back-to-back Friday, Saturday, games 4 and 5 in this 7-night stretch. They got Hawks on deck Friday, back home, which means you will be with us again on Friday, Purdue? Yeah?
And Saturday.
What? It's a cup game, Bulls-Hawks on Friday. So who knows what the hell kind of crazy stuff can happen.
If you're not doing anything tomorrow, catch the Windy City Bulls game.
Yes.
There you go.
Windy City Bulls, him and Mark Shanowski on the call. They are quite entertaining. I'm excited to see what Will be wearing.
Quite possibly Matas. Maybe he could go down again.
Maybe.
Drop 50.
And Atlanta Hawks 2-0 in the cup standings.
Bulls 0-1 took that first cup loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers last week. Yeah. You got something for us, Katie?
Yeah, I wanted to share one thing with you guys.
Please do.
I ran a poll at the start of the show.
Sure.
Oh.
Should Dave wear bedazzled jeans on the next show? Yes, one with 68%.
Only 68%?
You're
solid.
You're legally obligated now.
Will you sing?
Huh?
Uh-huh.
I didn't run a poll about singing.
I just asked a question. If I wear bedazzled jeans, will you sing?
If there was a poll for singing.
Oh, that's so hard to create.
I'll figure out how to make a
so
poll.
Difficult.
I'll figure out how to make a poll in the YouTube comments.
How do we make a poll? How do we do it?
Hey,
look, we're up to
everybody who's still here.
Wait.
Should Katie sing the Empire jingle?
We're up to 69% now. So nice. You have to do it.
Yeah, no.
Katie, can I give you some advice?
I'd love that, Will.
Just so we can see big fella in the bedazzled jeans. just bring whatever your favorite beverage is and do a couple shots before postgame.
That sounded like it was about to be an offer of compromise, did it not?
See,
like, hey, I'll wear bedazzled jeans if you sing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's not.
But that's a win-win.
It's not about
Yeah,
nerves.
but she also knows
though.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Katie.
It's not about nerves. It's purely stubbornness. So the drinks
Yeah.
would not help. If anything, it would make it worse.
Trust me. It's funny how I know Katie. So I knew that's what it was. I know how she operates, man, a little bit. Not all of it, just a tad, just a skosh.
Carlos just said if Katie sings, I'll like every stream from now on.
If we get,
Hold that like
how-
ransom.
how many likes would we have to get for you to sing, Katie?
Yeah,
how many
there's
likes?
a good question.
You set the like amount.
If we get
on one show.
200 likes on a show.
200 likes on a show.
200 likes on a show.
As we're live. Like
As
before
we're
we're
live.
done
Yes,
being
as we're
live.
like, and not a
As
watch
we're live.
along.
That does not count.
Okay, all right,
No.
all right. Just checking.
200 likes on a show, I will sing the Empire jingle.
There we go.
Y'all heard it.
We have
It's
it.
up to y'all.
Get ready for
It's
me
up
and
to y'all,
Dave to
man.
start asking y'all for likes every 30 seconds.
That's gonna be my bedazzled shirt.
Yeah,
Likes.
Exactly.
Likes.
Everybody have a great Wednesday night. Have a great Thursday. We will be back pregame live Friday night, 6:30 Central Time, leading into Bulls, Atlanta Hawks, NBA Cup action. Until then, Big Dave is at Bow BAWL Sports. Uncle Will _Perdue 32. Always a pleasure when he joins us. Katie Duffy, the one and only Queen on the controls. I'm Bulls _Peck. We are CHGO Bulls. And again, our guy, Will the Goat, who was up at Fiserv working hard tonight. Will _Gottlieb. Read his stuff. All CHGO.
So I got one more question for you guys.
Okay.
Let's just have a little fun at the GOAT's expense.
Sure.
I love that.
So,
Give Matt a break.
yes. Considering that the GOAT has to drive back from Milwaukee to the city. He lives in the city, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He lives in Logan Square.
Is he the guy?
Or does he?
Or does he?
He's the projection is now, with the glasses and the coif and is he the guy in the Volvo that drives in the right lane? Or is he the guy that's driving some beater using all 5 lanes, doing about 95?
You're close on one of those.
He
He
does not drive a Volvo.
You're close.
I can tell you that factually.
Mhm.
I'm not going to tell you what he does drive.
Yeah.
Because maybe he wants to keep that a secret.
That's why I want to say it. I want to say it.
But it's not a Volvo.
It's not a Volvo, no.
If I had to guess, is Will Gottlieb a fast driver or a responsible / on the slower side driver? My guess would be the latter.
I'm about to say, give me 8,000 on responsible for Will to go.
The guy that looks back and says, "Oh, the guy a mile back is doing 3 miles an hour faster than me. I better get over and let him by." It takes about 12 minutes for the guy to catch up.
That's a very responsible individual.
I think Will sits in the middle lane and doesn't move. Like, that's how I see it.
No, because you know what those people are, Katie? Those people are selfish and not self-aware.
Yeah.
And GOAT is unselfish and very self-aware.
That's fair.
That
That's
is
fair.
a fact. That's very
Oh,
true.
you mean the
That's
people
fair.
that get on the on-ramp and hit the blinker and go straight to the left lane and do 55?
Oh, that's the worst.
If there is a hellish type afterlife, the deepest levels of it are reserved for a certain group of people or groups of people. One of them is people who sit obliviously going 65 in the left lane. Especially
Also-
on a 2-lane highway.
80.
All of the flesh burning, all of the pinching from all of the insects. Y'all suck
All of the hot rocks.
so much.
Since we're making fun of the GOAT, I did also want to share this comment that says the GOAT is in Milwaukee, but his hair is in Green Bay.
That club keeps getting higher and higher.
That's how you wrap a show. Good job.
Also, shout out to Adrian, who I did see through us a late super chat. They were asking how empty is the UC look. Saw lots of empty seats. Well, they were in Milwaukee tonight. I don't know if you're referring to that or they were also in Detroit on Monday.
Yeah.
If you're referring to their most recent home game, like
On Sunday.
has the Bulls home game crowd been full? Not that I have seen.
He refuses to go.
My butt is now in one of those seats.
I'll see you
Okay.
in the BMO Club, baby.
Yeah.
Hanging out.
You'll hang out in the BMO Club with Uncle Will.
Oh.
All right, y'all. We will talk to you Friday night pregame 6:30. Until then, see you. That'd be good.
Peace and love, y'all. Peace. I forgot to ask.
We all silly like the mayor.